Hi everyone, thanks for joining me in the garden. Today I'm going to be feeding the tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers and runner beans. So I better go over and get started. The tomatoes grown in these tubs, so they do need feeding now because they've all got flowers and they've got really tall. They've got right up to the top of their canes. There's only this one here. This is the purple bumblebee tomato that I tried last year. Didn't get any flowers at all, but I'm pleased to say they've got flowers this year. That's the only one that hasn't reached the top. So I will soon have to start just trimming out the top section just to keep them below the cane. So what I'll do with this one, where that leaf is, I'll just cut it down to here in the same way as I've done the runner beans, and then that will concentrate all the growth down the plant and it will produce tomatoes rather than more leaves. But down here we've actually got little tomatoes growing, so that's a good sign, but they will be lacking nutrients now, so I'm going to start feeding. Now just show you, this is the food that I always use. Now I use this for the tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, runner beans, anything really, even the flowers, because it is a good all-rounder. So I'll get some of that mixed up. Now the dosage is 20 mils for 4.5 litres or 1 gallon of water. So I've measured out in this little measuring cup my 20 mils. What I'm going to do, because it says mix thoroughly, but what I do is just add that to the can and then fill up with water, because that agitates the water enough to mix it. And luckily on the side of my watering can, these are graduations of 1 litre, so 4.5, so I need to fill up to there, and it won't be easy for you to see, but this actually shows on the inside of the can as well, so I'll be able to see when I've got enough water to reach that level. Right, I've got the feed mixed up in the watering can, so all I'm going to do is just share this can full between these 3 pots. Now I'm going to feed once a week. Today's Wednesday, so Wednesday is obviously going to be feeding day. Now I watered these yesterday, so the compost is moist. You never want to feed when the compost is completely dry, because sometimes the food can burn the roots. So there we are, that's the tomatoes happy. Just come over to the other greenhouse. Now about 3 weeks ago I did a video how not to grow a cucumber, and that is this cucumber. Quite amazing how it's resurrected itself. And we've actually got the little cucumbers forming, so that is doing really well after its poor start. And these are the other 2 cucumbers that were in the video at the same time. Now I'm going to feed these exactly the same way as I did the tomatoes. Now on the bottom here, this is sort of like a horrible mess. This is slug pellets, but because when I've watered them, obviously they've got wet, they are just forming these horrible mouldy clumps. So I'm going to just take the surface of that off, replace it with some fresh compost, and then feed, and then I can put some fresh slug pellets down. That looks a lot better on top of that pot. So I've just taken the old compost off, replaced it with some new, and then I'll put some slug pellets down. Now, I've mixed up some more feed, exactly the same as I did for the tomatoes. So I'm just going to water this in. These were watered last night, so they're nice and damp pots. Just give that one some in there. Right, now we've got the peppers, which are on the shelf at the back of the greenhouse and on the side here. But most of these are actually forming new little peppers here. Try and get you in focus. So I will start feeding these exactly the same. So I'm just going to put some feed into, because they're all standing in their little trays here. So I'm just going to put some feed in the trays and let them soak that up. Now all of these plants will be fed weekly now. Exactly the same mix of food. So there we are. That's both greenhouses done. We'll head over to the runner beans. I'm just using the same mix. So I just water on the top of these beans. As I say, they've still got the same treatment as the others, once a week, because they have got a lot of flowers on there. Now these beans are a little bit crooked because we've had a lot of strong wind and it has beaten them up a bit, but luckily they're not too bad. Now these two beans here are going over to each other's canes, which is fine. I'll let them do that if they want to, as long as they climb up on something and they help to support each other. But what I'm going to do is just tie another cane across all three, just to keep this a bit more rigid. Right, this is the cane I'm going to put across the top here. So all I'm going to do is, hopefully, I could do with another pair of hands, but just tie this on here. That's got that side. I can make sure the canes are up straight in a minute. Right, tie this one into position. And then we've got this one in the middle. So this is just to stop the wind and keep battering them around. Might not be that straight, but it'll do. Right, there we are. That should hold them quite stable. Well, a bit more stable than they were, I'll put it that way. Now, this bean on this side, has carried on growing. As you can see, it's way above the cane now. So what I'm going to do is just take this off just above that little node there where we've got the leaves coming out. So I shall leave, where is it? No, I'm just going to cut all that just above where all that growth is coming out, and then I can tie that back in. That would just stay there. Now this one here, although it's got flowers at the top, what I'm going to do, because I want to try and keep them to this level, so I'm just going to cut this one just above where it's tied on there. It's got a leaf and a flower, so that will be okay. That will fill up that space. And this one here, that's okay because it is just below the cane. So yeah, I think that will do for runner beans today. I actually decided to put 2 canes across. I thought that will make it a bit more rigid. And while I was doing that, I found a little tomato which is self-seeded. I had the greenhouses in this area last year, so I have no idea which variety it is, but I'll just leave it there and leave it to do its own thing. Now, something I forgot to mention was my grapes. Now, this grapevine only ever does 1 bunch of grapes, but there it is. So I should be feeding this as well. So exactly the same way. I'll just mix up some food and get that done. So I'll say bye for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.